Woo!
新たな業界残した存在育てた盆栽が売れるのだこんな曲だって前が価値を決めんだ迷ったらヒューマンなんてない空想花咲かせろボンボンボン
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at Number I's newest comeback, Bond. They have a performance version and a music video, and what's really interesting is that I've kind of trained myself to be in a position with this group to wait until the performance video comes out for me to look at it, because with the music video it gives a very different vibe than what the performance video has shown. Blow Your Cover is a great example of this for myself, and as a dance analyst, I wanted to look at the movement quality around the same time as when I hear the track for the first time, so I cannot wait to get into this. Let's go ahead and get started. Hey! Wow, okay. That beginning was sick though. Yeah, little rock and bounce influence on that. Cool. This is so cool. It's funny that we're doing some of those viral moves that you normally don't do this quick. I think that's funny. I love that key point right there. Da 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 boom. Other side. Cool. Woo! West side, east side. Yeah. Sheesh, that was fun. I really like that. I'm glad I waited. Like, as much of a temptation the music video was to want to watch, I was like, there's gotta be a performance version. And alas, here we have it. I love this little moment with them here. That's super fun. Really enjoyed that. Goodness gracious. Okay, music video time right here. Ready to go.
くさらう感情に閉ざした君のハートを奪う致命性より大事なものですこうですああでもないこうでもない言いながら制作者にベンベンベンベンベンもっとでけえことしたいからみんなの顔が触れ my life
I love that.
新たな業界残した存在育てた盆栽が売れるのたくさんのくて手前が価値を決めんだ迷ったら暇なんてないグッズを花咲かせろボンボンボンボンボンボン花咲かせろボンボンボンボンボンボンボンボンまあ気楽に楽しめ生泡気持ちよしいいねこの瞬間だってボンボンボンボン Yeah ナンバーアイ企画外母剤飛んでける羽ください
Oh, that's cute. That's so cool. This auto-tune section, it feels like a hybrid of like 2000s auto-tune, but also like, I don't know, how it was run? Bollywood maybe? I don't know. So this is like a bonsai tree. Okay, cool. I like the lean with the head on that. Oosh. Wow, this is cute. Bonsai. Okay, we gotta stop it here. Who choreographed this? Oh, did I already miss it? Maybe. We'll see. We gotta go back to previous. Stage setting, gimbal, assistant choreographer, Kaz the Fire. Okay. Dope, 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 cool. I like the fact that they're diving into different choreographers. Not gonna lie, I think that's cool. Figure out what the niche is for them. I mean, as for myself, I'm always one who advocates for like sticking to a resident choreographer if you want to update or upgrade your implicit movement quality. But I know they've spent a long time together even before becoming Number I because of the previous group they were in. So I don't know if I would, you know, in this case, I know part of the reason why they are the group that they are is they wanted to showcase different concepts and do what they want to do. So that's why I think I'm more inept to really wanting them to dive into as many different choreographers as possible because they are allowing themselves to really dive in head first on not just the production side but on the movement quality side. And I mean, I think that's pretty fun. All right, right here from the top, boom, here we go. I also just remembered I did put a poll out way back I think it was like a month or so ago about what routine to do between Blow Your Cover and Goat, and I've done Blow Your Cover, but I haven't done Goat yet. I just realized that. I am so sorry. I will do Goat. I will probably do this one as well. This is such a fun, this is so fun, and it makes sense too when you see Bon. I think that's the what's the word? It's the, oh my gosh, abbreviation for bonsai, I think, right? And it does look like, you know, bonsai tree, and it looks like the different rings that you see in a tree stump. Words are hard for me today. We're working on it. We're figuring it out. This whole beginning, not gonna lie, is probably the best opening sequence I've seen from this group, period. So freaking cool. I love the subtlety of all this. So they go ching, and then from there, they use that accent to rotate it around to hear this sound in the back. Really dope. This part right here, that whirl, whirl, kind of feels like we just completely dropped down, and then we reversed it, and it's exactly what it sounds like in the track. And it goes dun dun dun, and I like this right here because it reminds me, like, the light's very fitting there because it looks like he's trying to shield himself from the light. It's really nice, and they're framing it very well too. You have my two on the outside, you know, they're kind of framing towards the inside with one of their arms, which is cool. This is so freaking cool. So how they're sitting definitely reminds me of, you know, like a warrior when they're sitting waiting for orders. Kind of feels like that based on my media exposure. And then how they're in that position and then they're subtly going into a Z sit right here. The control is so nice. I love that da 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 da. And the subtlety of the movement is so like the opposite, but the commitment to that is so tasteful. It makes me focus on the intensity of the vocals without feeling like we're having to hit every nook and cranny of it. We're taking the opposite approach, which is just as captivating. I love it. So they take it really nice and high, that little boom. Ooh, they're hitting those basses hard. That boom, and they reverse it, getting it right back up to the reverse. God, there's a lot of reversals, and I think that's super cool too. I'm a fan of reversal choreo because I feel like there's a degree of thoroughness. You have to understand your timing very well because you need to know how much movement you can fit from point A to point B in order to revert it to keep it on time, if that makes sense. So I like it because it feels considerate and thorough in the choreography in general when I see it. It's cool. I love that part. And then they kick it up, boom, boom, and then they go speed change. So many speed changes. Love it. Then from there, they're using the arm. Then they take that leg and they thread it through where that arm is placed. And I think that was cool. And I like that. Da-da-da, bang, bang, bang. And of course, you have a little bit more intensity. It does look like we have a gun. At least one of them is. And some of them are taking more of a fist approach. I love that. And it goes, woo. Camera shot, really dope here. Takes it through, boom, 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 and then we go over. Also, my question is this... I mean, I guess we'll find out. I'll pay attention. Is this a one take? I don't know. I mean, we'll find out. But anyway, I digress. So far, it's all the same take, which is super dope. But I like that right there, where they hit it, boom, boom, boom. So they take this... That right there, they definitely took that camera, boom, they made it go forward and down. Great effects on it. They take the arms, make them nice and planted, and then they use the chest and they use the lower body to really make it a fun moment to match what he's saying on bonsai, right? It does definitely that, how he hits it does remind me of a older historical era where they're like chanting or oriented, maybe. I don't know. I could be so out of pocket for that. My apologies for that. But I like it's just interesting. It's so intriguing how he chose to run it or use his vibrato in that way. It's so fascinating. Then this dig right here, boom, boom. I love me a good full chest to create a bass representation in their transition. That's so freaking sick. Love it. And I like that right here. I love how he takes it through. Such a conversational, dope moment of riding the bass, but also making it his own. Really cool. They take it through, boom, boom. And they do, as a trio, tend to do something similar in structure to this. I saw it in Blow Your Cover, where you have one person, you know, as an outlier, and the other two on the other side, and they do something that's complementary. But with a group of three, fantastic job on how they're doing formations and levels, because it didn't really feel like, ooh, we're missing something, or ooh, it kind of feels a bit redundant, or something along those lines for being a trio. That's very impressive, because the more numbers you have, the more options you have in formations and in level representation. But in this case, they did a fantastic job, truly. Really dope. I really like how they take it, boom, boom. They fold that hand out really nice. A little boom, 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 really nice to go. They rotate, and then they rotate to the inside, and then they boom, boom, boom on the percussion on their tone as well. Cool. He takes it through, boom, bass, bass, really nice. Honestly, I do know too, in Japan, they do sing live. So the live capabilities of this is already very impressive for a lot of these choices of the bass, the bops and the pops that are happening as they take it boom, boom. They create the number 3. They create like a, what's the word? Like a swoop, boom. And then they rebound it once again to create a fun moment. And he uses his hand to drive that. That's dope. Comes through, don't. And then this part, it's how he hits it. It's that part right there that reminds me of like when you hear like Bollywood, that how those runs take place. It feels like that kind of essence, but the auto tune reminds me of like 2000s auto tune in the club. Like I'm living for both, honestly. I think it's so cool. They take it, they expand it out to the side, really nice. And those boom, and so once again, it's a rebounded reverse, and then they take the leg, they swipe it around, or they sweep it around. And then they take boom, they create some tension going into the chest, and they take it out to the side. They brush, and they take those arms up, and they present, and then they they represent out. Just a fun little, really cool as they match his tone and his run very well. I've talked about this in a lot more K-pop choreography, and I'll talk about it here. I don't know if I've really brought it up with Number I or any J-pop group yet, but whenever you do choose to do choreography onto vocals, when you look at an artist that does perform live, to me, that's a really cool risk that a choreographer takes that is in agreement with the artist and with the choreographer. Here's why. If in the event he sings this live and he has that auto-tune in play, let's say it's not backtrack or whatever, he sings it, he's going to have to try to replicate it as effectively as possible because the choreography is matching the pitch and the run in which he's going off of. It's not the same as a bass or other things. So how that movement comes across, it can be out of pocket or the musicality will be off if he doesn't hold it down vocally. If in the event there's no backtrack and there's nothing aiding him or assisting him to make that effect take place. So I love whenever I see that because it feels like it's a subtle risk. The more you do that, the more of a risk you run for artists. Now, in the dance scene where you're just thinking about the dance choreography, you have the track. As the track doesn't really deviate, then you feel a little bit safer. Just, for me as a choreographer, I feel safer to explore the tone, the vocals, the modification, the variants, because those aren't going to change after it's done and they go, like, they're not going to go perform it live or anything like that. In my neck of the woods, the track's always going to be the same. Track's not always going to be the same. There's always concert versions and demos, and when you do it live, there's certain parts that are sung live and some that are not. So it's just a very interesting topic that I didn't really think to talk about nearly as much until I started doing vocal, groups that, sing live. And I just think it's so impressive that they said yes, and his responsibility behind that yes was the choreographer still took that risk because it felt right to do. I love seeing that. Super fun. But from here, that little me, and then right there it turns into a fun cannon starting over from stage left. Boom, boom, boom with the elbows. Right here into a nice straight line. Then they go boom, boom. And then some of them are choosing to go more where they keep it straight. I think my guy in the LA hat does that. But then you have my guy in the A's hat. He does a little bit more of a finger wave. Those come across very different, right? Because the camera was shooting my guy right here, we were assuming that this was going to be a wave. But then in pre-course 2, you end up seeing his hand, boom, boom, boom. Notice those feel very different. This one rides a very different, more legato. This one feels more of a robotic fixed pointed opportunity kind of movement. So to each their own. I don't mind them, but it's just so fascinating. This right here. So they kick with a heel twist. I really like that. It's just so fast. Like, they're double timing out the wazoo on this. I'm just not used to seeing it. And they're keeping their body super stiff because they can't not. Also, side note, they did reference goat in the music video and the lyrics. So I did see that. I think that's super cool that they're referencing it. They're like, hey, we're back. We're here to dominate. We're the goats. I love it. Love just the confidence behind it because I do know they did come from a very, very successful group. So it doesn't fall on deaf ears, I guess is my point. They've kind of validated that to some extent in the industry. And I think that's super cool. Then right here, they go pulse to the side. Now, do I think that with that one, it did feel like some of our movement on the side wasn't quite as, it doesn't feel as crisp and clean in the torso as their choice to rock over because of the speed. And I think that's fine. I at least was able to see what they were going for enough to hit that boom, boom, doom, doom, which is nice. Then that was that run right there. That part right there, I thought that was really fun trot, little fun moment, a little gimmicky. I think it was enjoyable to see that. Goes back in, bring it out. Really nice choice with the arms. They go out in, kind of felt like we were about to do a lock-in, but we didn't. We instead traveled it over to the side. I like the commitment to the head. As much as I like seeing everybody's head face front, I love it whenever they're looking at particular parts of their body because it shows a sense of maturity behind I am trusting the feeling of this movement, not the mirror that I'm subconsciously have been training with to know whether or not I'm doing a good job of the movement. There's a sense of maturity and confidence whenever somebody's able to look here and they don't look front, because in the studio space, a lot of times whenever you're cleaning, because that's what a mirror's used for, is to clean your choreo or to make it refined. You're looking to make sure that you're doing everything well, but you end up subconsciously isolating the head by looking. So that's why what's an interesting sign of knowing with choreography. When you see people do choreo, do you see them make choices that have them deviate away from the mirror? So if you look at class choreography footage, that's something you can now look for, is who has confidence in the movement and who is still trying to get it in their bodies. Both are okay because it's class, but I do know in a video format there's like this subtle stress and expectation that we have to do well, and that's the unfortunate part of that type of camera op being integrated into the classroom setting. It doesn't allow you to feel like you can fail and have the grace to back it, because there's people that are going to be pointing fingers at you. But that's a completely separate thing from this, but it is something that I do think we can bring up and talk about because it does relate to dancing and it relates to learning choreography. It's something that you may see in other aspects outside of here. But I digress from there. I love that they hit it down. He does a little trace action with his arm, which I think was a really cool choice to keep him as the feature. While they drop the level, they go and they reset. I like that brush to the sides. Very well done on this, in the sense of it's so freaking fast. Like I don't have it slowed down, but having the rock with the arms to the side, you can really cut off a lot of movement very quickly, and I think we're showing risks of that, but there's not really like a true cut off of a movement here so far, which is impressive for the speed. And they take it through a nice little tip-tap-toe as they take the arms and bring it around in that sense there. And then right there, it does feel like we did like a little Indian top rock. Yeah, that right there. TDD. That's what that was. And then I take it. They go, no. That part right here does feel like a bonsai. Like this is our bonsai leaves or tree. It does feel like, we're doing more of a bounce here. It does. Whoever's singing vocally here does remind me that I'm the new go. Like it's the same. I think it's the same person, right? I don't mind it. I kind of like it. It feels like we're on a brand a little bit. It just makes Blow Your Cover so like in a different, it's just in its own lane almost, which is kind of cool. This one feels really on brand with the Go era side of things. So I'm just very fascinated, and I like the fact that I've already seen more material from them. So I already have things to go off of and see some references that they're making in the music video. Are there other Easter eggs in lyricism? Most likely, because there's a lot of time they spent in the industry before this. So I understand there's probably a lot of extra double meaning in their lyricism, but I think it's super cool. It's right here, just simple enough to make you want to do it. Like I want to do it because I feel like this is definitely attainable for me in a quick amount of time, but I feel really cool. Like all this is super dope. Like where they take it and they set it up kind of like a gun and then they kick it. Really dope. And they take it here, subtlety right here, and then they're taking the arms, they're syncopating it with the hand. That's really cool where they take it and they cross it over. Really nice. They throw it there, boom, boom. Notice they have a weightiness to it. It's because they're allowing the torso to have a sense of a reverb as they step. So that's why it feels like we have a heaviness to our steps. It's because of what our torso's doing. I love that choice. And then we're digging it through. And this feels abnormally slow for when I normally see it. So there's some move sequences that feel abnormally fast. And then we see movements that are abnormally slow. I like both because it's just different in how you see it. Yeah, do-do-do-do-do, bo-do-do. And I like they take it. Brush it through. That was nice. Boom, boom. Brush all the way through. It matches this kind of energy, just a different direction in the hands. Then right here, this is super dope. God, like this is really nice. The commitment. Boom, boom. The fullness is dope. Boom. And everybody holds it down very, very well. So that's why it works, is that if not everybody was doing it effectively, it would just kind of feel, not kind of disappointing, but this isn't disappointing at all. It's very captivating and it matches right there on the boom, boom, Yep, and then they take it, they throw it. No, they go brush, brush, and then they swing to the other side. So it's very balanced. I love it. I'm always a fan of whenever, if you're going to do something like drill bit on one side, do it on the other side, because I feel like I'm getting equal growth on both sides, and so that's just really fun. So yay for the choreographer for making it feel like I'm getting a drill out of this with these pops. Super fun. I noticed there was the quickness of the speed change to go into that, and that's what made this moment, boom, so impactful. Is because you had a moment where there was nothing, and then you saw it. So if they went from here to here, it wouldn't have been nearly as impactful, but there's that punctuation of absence of movement. Well, boom, that really showcased, here's your picture moment, good luck, we're gonna keep doing it. Really cool. Boom. Then it goes boom, boom, then they bring it up, then they drop it down. So this, I think technically that may be your first cut, which was very impressive for almost a minute and a half in. It's very well done. I believe that's the first one where I very obviously noticed is a different cut. And with performance versions, you normally see a lot more cuts in them. It's more the choreography videos or like the dance practice videos. I prefer a one take because you're able to see what the choreography is ideally supposed to look like from a fixed cam perspective, meaning if I were to go to a concert and watch, that's how I would see the choreography. And I feel, depending on the circumstances, you would want your choreo to be about as captivating as it is in a fixed cam format as it is in a cinematic format, unless the whole point of the choreo is to justify a concept that's meant for camera, which is very real and a very, very important thing. But you would also need to factor that in if you were to do that choreo in concert. Like, you have to factor all the event spaces or environments that choreo is going to be shown. In this case, a lot of the unison sections, especially in the chorus, feels very much like this is meant to be done for a challenge format to be replicated. So it's not easy, it's simple, meaning that it's easy to digest, but the movement quality, there is room for people to really show off different techniques depending on what section they choose to do. But in the verses, you can also tell there's more complexity in how they are engaging in the track. And a lot of that comes from the choreographer, but also conversation with them as well. So I'm definitely a fan of this. Shout out to Harley Davidson too. I like the brand for what he's wearing. Super dope hit, da 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 da. I like that. Feels very, once again, conversational. And then we're about to go to a more like hip hop, potentially old school kind of sound, but not quite enough to where it really feels like we've transitioned. Da da na na na. I like the bounce with the look over, really cool. Where he comes up, it's very easy to see who my feature is, and the switch on this too. So I like how they kind of do this little hop approach, because it's really easy for me to see, okay, my feature's right here. Okay, my new feature just hopped over. So it's really nice. It works. That boom 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 boom, super cool. I liked how he did it in the music video. I like this here is fine, but I liked how the camera shot that part in the music video. No, what? This reminds me of, what is it, Master Plan by Be First. There was like this little mess right there that they would do, a lot of head ISOs. It's the only reason why that feels familiar to me. But there's a chance that maybe Number I has done it before. I can't quite quote that, so my apologies for that. And no, I'm not comparing Be First to Number I, not at all. It's just that's my other kind of J-pop exposure is there, and of course Jet Boy Bangers and D-League. Now D-League's not really J-pop, it's just there's members of J-pop that are in it. But I digress. My point being is that I've seen this pretty often in the, maybe not in this particular tone, but whenever you're dealing with an animated layer, which is what we're hearing, and ISO works pretty well, and it showcases complexity because you got to really listen. And anytime you're using the head or the chest in movement where the people are singers and they're supposed to sing, it's always impressive because it's a risk, because that's one less stable part of the movement that's going to set you up for success in singability. So very nice that we're taking these risks. I think it's cool. That's super cool. DDD over, they take it and they rev it over to the other side. And he's got to go, yeah, after he just freaking bodies it to the floor. Like, not to the floor, but like over to the side in a full rock. That's cool. So he comes up, da 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 da, cool. And then right there's your rock, there's your bounce, and we're doing a little crab step variation. And what it feels like, we take that arm, we bring it up. He said, hey, let's party, let's go. And I like that little knock right there, the knee with the head, cool. And we're just going to the other side, so it feels very like fundamental. We're partying, and we have a fun like a little accent moment before we go over to the other side. Is that like a little hit them, folks? In rock and bounce, but not really in the posture. But so that was really fun though. Right there to the crab step. There's a little wave. I like that choice. I'm always down for waving. Super cool. He goes, huh? Love the conversational element. It looks like they're having a lot of fun. They said, yeah, what you want? Let's go. I like that they go and they choose to emulate it in their shoulders, and he does it with his arms. I love the connection between the three on that. With the head, to get them right back together, and then you have that boom, that really heavy bass come back in. They come back in, boom, up, and then we take our hands, glue in those elbows a little bit closer to the body. You see one of them really has it glued to his body. The other two have it more like we're pushing. This feels very different than this. All in your elbows, even if the hands are in the same place. Here is going to feel like we're using more power at the back. Here it feels like it's like a petty push, if that makes sense. You're like, I'm not really putting in my effort here because you're not worth my time. And here is a back TF off. Does that make sense? So that's where all of that, like this can feel so different than here. You know, I like both. I really feel like we're diving more into the elbows. Notice the elbows are facing down, so we're going more petty approach than like that full approach, but how they set it up, not everybody was doing it at the same rotation, and that's why it looked a little different. I like that boom, da-da, like with the head there. We take it through with a little subtle chest ISO on that. And then we're taking it and bringing it to the inside versus pushing it forward. We're now pushing it together. Really cool new feature over on stage left. That boom, boom, boom. I love the twist. Twist, twist, twist to the side. And then the pull on that's really nice. I love the interruption. So he did a really good job on separating. Because that's always the tricky part is whenever you get to like the chest or the legs, the chest sometimes gets influenced after it's isolated. And it doesn't stay there when you move the legs and vice versa. So I really appreciate how clear the differentiation between the three were. Great job. And then the pull was a really nice surprise to the front. I love the stoicness of not doing anything there. Then he goes over to the side and feels this pull. They're pulling with no arm. So my feature is still going to be the one that has the biggest, loudest movement. Everyone's torsos are the same degree of loudness, but he has a little extra arm, so it feels like his extremities are more involved because they are, so I'm naturally wanting to look at him, which is exactly what they want me to see. Love that. Good job, choreographer, for that. The pull there is really cool, and then they all expand their arms out. They rotate it through. Fun. Right there into a diagonal. This part. Ooh. There you go. Once again, that same sound resonates for me. In this part here, boom, 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 and then we have a nice and subtle. Notice there's tension, but not like a sensual tension. It's tension of, I have all of this power, and I'm showing you patience with it. It's kind of like that. There's a stoicness behind it, and it matches the shift very well. So I love that. They're not too loud for the movement's not too loud to the music. And a lot of times people don't think that movement can be too loud or too soft. It really can, just like music can be too loud or too soft based on other factors. So like if my vocals are too loud over my music, or if my music's too loud over my vocals, we can't appreciate either. You don't want it to feel combative in your sound production, just like you don't want it to be combative in your movement quality. So I think it's really cool that we have a sense of, I feel like the choreographer has listened to the track and been able to apply the ebbs and the flows of what makes the track what it is. He's able to replicate it because they're the visual representation of their music. This is showcasing that in a really effective and successful way, so it helps regular people be able to appreciate it and make it feel, this feels good, this feels right, because it kind of is, you know, because our movement matches the ooh, because when you physically hold out a note, ooh, you're holding it and your breath is leaving your body. And so that when you do an exhale, that's the kind of dynamic when you see in movement replicate to help justify note holds. So that's the beauty of understanding your physical body, the mannerisms, the psychology of emotion and physical, like why we behave in certain situations with certain emotions, where we store our energy, things like that really can help. By knowing more of that can help you understand and appreciate why choreographers create certain textures, tensions, legato, staccato choices, dynamic choices in choreo that feel right to the music. I love that. And this is a great example of that. That boom, boom, and notice that we're using the wrist low key to reestablish and reset here. Then we da 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 da, really cool, and you have it reset as well. That boom, click, click, click. There's the claps. So then now they switch, boom, 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 over. This is a snap on a clap. They did these sounds, so they're doing a little, would I call it strobing? Not really, but they do have that interruption between point A and point B to take the arms, and they're letting the arms and the body correlate to that. Really nice. And it goes through, boom, and notice my guy right here, he's taking it, and his is way stiffer. The other two are actually doing a wave. So, good job on the camera guy for not clocking him on the first one, because it would have looked more off. But in this case, because he's in center and he's doing it, it doesn't look nearly as off. So I like that. There's my character. I love this. Da 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 da. They take it nice. Same build up as I did before. That was cleaner. D. And then this little trot once again. So the second time I think is cleaner than the first time. I like it. More personality from my guy in tan. I kind of feel like they wore this before. Like, I feel like they've worn all of these in just different videos. Like, in the choreography dance practice for GOAT, I feel like one of them wore that. I could be so wrong, though. Maybe it was a velvet version. I don't know, but I like the head nods, do-do-do, as he's presenting his hands out. Feels very communal, like we're all on the same page. Take it through. Boom, boom, ding, ding, ding. Really nice on the swish, swish up. Cool. Swing it through, and then we go da-da. Cool on that. Then we go up, boom, and then we go. So they're creating, you know, really fun transition moments between each other, which I think is really cool. Doing the same choreo, super great. I like this point over. Good wordplay on that would be my assumption on that. They go and they dip it through, which is nice. Then it goes choo. And it's same choreo as before. Now in this case, they're doing a good job of not letting this part of the movement deviate too much. Like they're letting it kind of hang out right here, which I think is awesome. You want that because the focal point is, it kind of feels like a bonsai tree almost, or they're kind of emulating that to an extent. I think that's kind of their point. But the focal point is actually the lower body with the stillness of the upper body. So I like that. It's cool. And they end up, they're kind of low-key fixed pointing this because they're letting the shoulders move, but this isn't moving extensively. I like that. Lift the arms up, and then boom, boom. They kick it once again. I personally like it when they look down when they kick. Kind of feels like what you want versus just kicking it. You know, there's confidence to be had in both, but I just like when they hit it and they go boom. They're like, what you want? It just feels that way. I don't know. It's a nice hype moment. And there's the subtlety there. Boom, boom. Now with that, I did notice it a couple times now. The range of the rotation of that heel on the foot to the hand hasn't really been on the same page for each individual person. And what I mean by that is if this is my heel and this is my hand, you want them to match to the same degree. It does feel like the heel rotates a little bit faster, so it doesn't look quite as parallel or as controlled, if that makes sense. So that's so subtle, though, in the grand scheme of things. It's just an observation, not even an anything critique-wise. So, it looks pretty good. I like it. The switch, d-d-d-d-d. Yeah, I would need to slow that down by learning this. I'll have to be like, what is really going on there? Because it's really fast. Oh, click, click. I think they switch it and then they bring it in. I think is what happens. But I could be wrong. Throwing through. Boom. Once again, we have some heaviness, but it feels more refined, which is not anything crazy. Digging it in once again. I like that with a little head on that. Brush, which is cool. And then right there, they take it. They swing it. Same thing as I did before. Cool. And honestly, good job on range. I'm getting this hand where it needs to be for this part. Yeah, do-do-do-do-do-do, boom, 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 dope. And I like, once again, too, some of them are looking at it, some are tilting the head on it. Both look really cool. And a subtle individualized vibe on it, too. Now, boom, boom, really cool. And then right here, there's your dance break. They have a little accent with the elbow, takes and accents the head for people to go over. Take it through, boom, doom, doom, as we go and branch it over to the side. I like the twinkling there, away from it, do-do-do-do. It matches that little high sound register in the top. Kind of feels like somebody's clinking glasses almost, which I really liked. They take it through, boom, little rebound or reverb to take them down into the ground with everybody. The pull through is really cool. So there's a lot of really quick setups taking place. Do I think by this being a smidgen cleaner, we could really see these more effectively? Yes, but I think they're clean enough where we can at least appreciate what they're going for sure. So I kind of stand by that, for sure. I like that pop there. That was nice. Boom. Matched very well, very effective. They go and they travel through. I like the little trots from one of my guys. They go and they connect it here. They create the little boom boom, which is similar to what they've done. But it feels more like, honestly, a low-key crump posture. But not really. They didn't do anything that would say that's crump. But how they're holding their posture is similar to the style of crump. But they're taking the arm. I like that. The west side, east side. Love it. Bonsai. And the bonsai. So it's very nice. It's definitely like, I can get on board with that. Everybody over here, everybody over there. If I was at a concert, east side, if they're over here, east side, they'd be like, east side, west side. Like, it'd be fun. North side, south side. I like that part. Up and drop. And up and drop. Really nice. Really nice. So heel toe on that, little crab variant on that. And it goes and they build it up, the hey, hey, hey. So they're doubling it up, making it a little bit more full, representing the two sides. And then I like the choice where he swings it over and he does a nice isolated, he honestly travels it in a wave. So his pattern goes from he keeps it up, fixed pointed, it travels down. I think he looks down and then the energy travels right back up, which I think super, super cool. Love that. Yeah, that do-do-do-do. So he uses his shoulder as he hits it up, boom, to initiate the roll that goes all the way down and it comes right back up. Super dope. And then from there, you notice they have this little ISO happening from the joint. I love that. And it kind of feels like we got some head ISOs happening from our back guys. Let's see. Oh, so they're just pulling with the sternum and they're nodding the head. So the head's turned into a subtle fixed point on that. I love that moment. That was cool. They double it up, boom, boom, and then they make it nice and full. They hinge it around with the torso, definitely cool. Then they take it through, boom, little sugars or walk it out as they go forward. Then they throw the energy. What are they going to do with the energy? Because they're looking at it, what's about to happen with it. They just literally did lead with it, rock with it. Do you see that? I'm here for it. Nice. And then we're doing a little shampoo as we're marching. I'm here for it. They take it once again, they throw. They're nice and prepped up, and they go boom. Really nice on the tail end. Really dope lighting shot there to showcase more of a silhouette at the tail end. Good for them too, for matching from top to bottom in the sense of one person's hands have not dropped before everybody else's. So that looks super cool. And I really love the fun moment at the end and they're like, yes, we did it! Woohoo! Parkour! It's fun. I really like that. It feels really enjoyable. I enjoyed it. And I'm really happy for the fact that they've been able to come out with things that I'm assuming are what they've wanted to pursue as artists. And I'm happy to be in the position to take a look in this way to appreciate it with you guys. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. If you guys want to see more Number I am doing my best to stay on top of this group, but like I said, I do try to wait until a performance version of whatever they come back with shows up before I take a look. A lot of times with some groups, I do look at the music video first, but in the case with them, I've really liked being able to hear the track in their performance versions, and so I think it's just a little fun, and I try to be a little bit more patient with them in that regard. So thank you for your patience for those of you who have been waiting for my take on this choreo from an analytical standpoint. Looking forward to seeing more. Like I've said, once again, my name is Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.